Hey everybody, let's talk about risk. Risk is something we need to understand, and everybody's going to have different feelings on risk, what it is, how it affects us, how it affects our portfolio. So there's three different types of risk that we want to align. Okay, this is so important. I see so many people that have different feelings on risk and they don't match their situation. So we've got to make sure that our personal feelings match our situation. So let's talk about these three different types of risk that you need to take assessment of. And you need to do it every few years. So as you're getting ready for retirement a few years before, then after you've entered into retirement, maybe a year into retirement, and then maybe 5 years into retirement. Good timeline to start assessing these three types of risk. So everybody has different thoughts on what risk is. Fluctuations in the portfolio up and down. For some people, that's the risk they worry about. Other people, it's investments that can actually go to zero. That's risk to them. They don't care about the fluctuations. They just care about what can go to zero. Withdrawing from losses, the cardinal sin of any retirement portfolio. Never withdraw from losses. Some people, that's all they're concerned about. Outliving their money. Certainly that's a very common risk that we have to worry about. And then what other fears you may have. So going through this exercise and understanding your fears will help you adjust your portfolio for your needs. So let's talk about the first type of risk, your appetite for risk. Appetite for risk. We have to think about this in terms of feelings, not what the book says or what I learned I'm supposed to do or any of that stuff. It's about what keeps you sleeping at night and not worrying about money on a daily basis, okay? Your appetite for risk is how much of your portfolio you feel should be in the stock market. Feelings, okay? I care about the feelings here, not what we're supposed to be doing. Appetite is your willingness to take risks. So how much of your portfolio should be in the stock market? That's what this really boils down to. Okay, we have to go through all three of these so your feelings do matter. That's important. Okay, how much of your portfolio? 20%, 50%, 100%, zero? Everybody's going to have a different number here. Remember, this is your feelings. And when you're married, this is two separate numbers. You have to take into account each other's feelings on this. The next version of this assessment is your tolerance for risk. Okay, this is the limits you can handle, right? This is how much up and down you can handle. Okay, again, feelings. Do you start panicking when your portfolio is down 10, 20, 30%, 50%? At what point do you panic and start hitting sell and freak out? At what point do you lose sleep? And you're going to find yourself evolving. Maybe in your working years when you're not relying on it's just ups and downs of the market, no big deal. Then you head into retirement and you start freaking out about this stuff because you actually rely on this money. This changes. Your feelings on this changes. You realize you can handle less of this turbulence, less of this roller coaster because you are in the years when you're pulling money out. So it's okay for your feelings on this to change. And that's why you want to take that assessment before you head into retirement, maybe a year into retirement, or maybe 5 years into retirement. You want to go through this and adjust as you go based on your feelings, because part of the reason you saved all this money is to go enjoy retirement, right? Well, if you're worrying about money all the time, you're not going to enjoy retirement. And unfortunately, enough of this industry doesn't talk about the psychology of finance. And this is so important to understand this. A good financial advisor is going to make sure that you enjoy your retirement, that you're secure in your financial situation. And a big, important part of this is understanding your feelings and assessing that and talking about that. It's very important that we do this on a regular basis. So, tolerance is how much you can tolerate in terms of the portfolio going down. I think it's unlimited going up, I'm sure, but down. We all want investments that don't go down at all and grow 20, 30, 40% with no risk and no fees, right? So this is what we have to reasonably understand about our tolerance. And the last one is the capacity. And the reason these have to match up is the capacity is your ability to take risk based on your situation. So we have to align your feelings with your capacity, with your actual situation. Okay, this is so important that we understand this. So this chart that we're looking at right here, and I've got other videos with this chart, it really is an age-based chart. The industry, has statisticians that they look to defend the big boys in court cases, to develop the modeling in all the computer systems at all the big shops out there that protect them from investors from complaining they didn't invest properly, because they can actually come up with black and white proof that this is right. On the vertical side here, you have the amount of the percentage of your portfolio that should be invested in the stock market, and then the rest would be safe investments. On the bottom, what is erased right now, and I'm going to add some layers to this, is simply age. And by the time you get to your retirement years, the average person needs their money, and the average person should have no more than 40% of their money in the stock market. That's shocking for a lot of people, but if you're pulling a 4% withdrawal rate, and honestly even a 3+% withdrawal rate, you're really going to need safe investments. And that's where that 40% in stock market, 60% in stable, safe investments comes in. It has been proven over and over and over and over again that it is the most efficient way to handle this portfolio. Depositing into volatility is perfectly fine to build wealth. Withdrawing from stability is how you keep it. So let's put some layers on this. How do we decide your capacity for risk? Okay, this is your ability to take risk based on your situation. The first thing you have to assess is your withdrawal rate. This withdrawal rate becomes really, really important. If you're not withdrawing any money and have no need for this money, then you can have 100% of your money in the stock market. Everyone will agree with that. You can, because that isn't based on your feelings, that's based on your situation. Okay? Then we start getting into that 2% range, 1 to 2% range, and that's where we start pulling back a little bit of the risk. You can have, 30%, 20% in safe investments just to give yourself a place to pull from in case there's some big turbulence that hits. But then you start moving into that 2, 3, and then start hitting 4%. You can't have more than 40% of your money in the stock market. It's been proven. It's mathematical. It is absolute. I have plenty of videos on the order of returns and all the other ways to discuss this and look at this. Go find them, because it's really important that you understand this. This is the biggest transition that people need to make as they head into retirement. Never pull from losses. Okay? So as you head towards retirement, your time horizon matters. So we overlay that into this. If you've got more than 10 years before you're retiring, again, your capacity for risk, your ability to take risk, you can have 100% in the stock market. Okay? But then as you hit that 5-year mark, you want to start pulling back a little bit. Then within those 5 years, you need to start really getting ready and figuring out how much of this money you're going to need for yourself. Okay, so the larger your withdrawal rate, the greater the effective volatility. But the greater your dependence on your portfolio for income, the less it should be left to chance. This is your mantra as you start transitioning into retirement. Your capacity for risk has to match up with your feelings. That's important, because I've seen a lot of people that are overly confident in their stock portfolio, and I built this wealth. And then they head off into retirement and they keep this 100% in stock market mentality, and they hit that turbulence and they destroy the portfolio by withdrawing and withdrawing and withdrawing and withdrawing. If you don't need your money, perfectly fine with it. You need your money, you're going to destroy your portfolio with that turbulence. That's how you lock in losses. That's how you dig yourself into a hole you can't recover from. So please understand that your capacity for risk has to align with those feelings. I'm fine with somebody having a capacity for risk that says, hey, you can put 100% in the market, and their feelings pulling back that risk, saying, no, I just don't want to go through that roller coaster. perfectly fine, but the opposite is what will hurt you. All right, I hope that helps. This is a good assessment to go through. Watch this video before retirement, a year into retirement, 5 years into retirement, and then every so often thereafter. Go through this risk assessment. Understand that your partner might have different feelings than you and come somewhere together within the parameters of what's appropriate. All right, let us know if we can help out in any way. Yourinvestmentcounselor.com. I am a real person. I'm in Arizona, not on this beach, if you could see it. And I'm always happy to help. I'm licensed nationwide. And Your Investment Counselor, you can have appointments directly with me. FPFEAZ.org. That's our nonprofit organization. We do full form education over Zoom. You can jump on a class anytime. We got 3-4 opportunities every single month to view our classes live, and then give us a call if we can help out. All right, everybody. Thanks again. See you next week.